Dr. Vex Marin stood motionless in the depths of the Icelandic excavation site, her breath creating small clouds in the chilly air as she stared at the impossible readings on her quantum scanner. After 20 years of xenoarchaeological research, she had never seen anything like this. The artifact before her, a seemingly ordinary piece of obsidian, was emitting energy signatures that shouldn't exist on Earth. Dr. Marin. Her assistant, Jake Chen, called from above. The council is waiting for your preliminary report. Vex barely heard him, her attention fixed on the swirling patterns within the stone. According to her instruments, the object wasn't just ancient, it was alive. And it wasn't alone. Tell them to wait, she called back, her four-fingered hand adjusting the scanner's sensitivity. As the leading xenoarchaeologist of the Galactic Science Federation's Earth Division, she had earned the right to make the council wait. Especially for something like this. The obsidian fragment was part of a larger discovery, a network of similar artifacts found at dig sites across Earth. Initially dismissed as natural formations, these objects had started exhibiting increasingly unusual properties over the past month. But this one was different. This one was trying to communicate. Vex placed her hand against the cave wall, feeling the subtle vibrations that her human colleagues couldn't detect. Being one of the few Centaurian scientists allowed to work on Earth had its advantages, particularly her species' heightened sensitivity to electromagnetic fields. Jake, she called up, get me a secure quantum link to Dr. Reyes at the Atacama site. And then evacuate all non-essential personnel from the dig. Authorization Marin 7 Alpha. She heard the shuffling of feet and concerned murmurs above as Jake carried out her orders. The young human had proven invaluable over the past year, bridging the gap between her alien research methods and Earth's scientific community. As Vex waited for the quantum link to establish, she reviewed the data streaming across her handheld holographic display. The energy signatures matched nothing in the Federation's extensive databases, yet they seemed hauntingly familiar. Like a song heard in childhood but long forgotten. Dr. Reyes online, Jake announced, lowering a communication orb into the chamber. The holographic image of Dr. Sofia Reyes, her counterpart at the Chilean site, materialized in the dim cave. The human archaeologist's usually composed features were marked with uncharacteristic excitement. Vex, you need to see this, Sofia began without preamble. The artifacts, they're responding to human presence. Not just passive readings anymore. We're seeing active energy transfers, quantum entanglement patterns that defy everything we know about physics. The same is happening here, Vex confirmed, her secondary heart beginning to race as she pieced together the implications. Sophia, I don't think these are artifacts. I think they're dormant life forms. And I think they've been here longer than humans. The revelation hung in the air between them. If true, it would rewrite not just Earth's history, but the understanding of life itself in the galaxy. There's more, Sophia continued, her voice dropping to a near whisper. We've detected 5 distinct energy signatures. 5 different species, all seemingly integrated into Earth's ecosystem so deeply that they've been invisible to us. The real question is, why here? Why Earth? Before Vex could respond, her scanner erupted in a cascade of alerts. The obsidian fragment was pulsing now, its surface rippling like liquid metal. Similar reports began flooding in from sites across the globe, New Mexico, Gobi Desert, Great Barrier Reef, Siberia. It's happening everywhere, Jake called down, his voice tight with tension. All the artifacts are activating simultaneously. Vex's mind raced through possibilities, each more extraordinary than the last. These weren't just random alien artifacts scattered across Earth. This was coordinated. Planned. The placement of each site, when mapped, formed a perfect geometric pattern across the planet's surface. Sophia, Vex said, her scientific training warring with the magnitude of her hypothesis, I don't think humans evolved alongside these beings. I think humans evolved because of them. Everything we know about Earth's history, about human development, it's all connected to these artifacts. These beings. As if in response to her words, the obsidian fragment split open, revealing an interior that seemed to contain an entire universe in miniature. Similar reports began coming in from every site, a synchronized revelation that would forever change humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos. The Council would have to wait for their preliminary report. This was no longer just an archaeological discovery. This was the beginning of something much bigger, the unveiling of Earth's true nature as a sanctuary for beings beyond human comprehension, and humanity's unknowing role as their protectors. As Vex stared into the swirling cosmos within the artifact, one thought dominated her mind: the real work was just beginning. 3 weeks after the global activation event, Dr. Vex Marin found herself standing before the Emergency Council of Earth Sciences, her holographic presentation displaying data that challenged everything they thought they knew about human civilization. The Grand Chamber in Geneva buzzed with tension as representatives from every major scientific institution and government agency waited for her to begin. "What I'm about to share will fundamentally change our understanding of human history," Vex began, her Centaurian features illuminated by the soft glow of the holoprojector. "The 5 species we've discovered aren't merely ancient visitors or dormant entities, they are integral parts of human development, having shaped your civilization in ways we're only beginning to understand." The first hologram materialized, a stunning visualization of neural patterns from both human brains and the activated artifacts. "We're calling the first species the Dream Architects," she continued, gesturing to the synchronized wave patterns. "They exist primarily in the quantum substrate of human consciousness. Every dream you've ever had, every burst of inspiration or creative breakthrough, they were there, subtle architects of human imagination." Dr. Sofia Reyes stepped forward, adding her own data to the projection. "We've discovered that major artistic and scientific revelations throughout human history coincide with peaks in the Dream Architects' activity. The Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, the Digital Age, all were periods when their influence was strongest." A murmur rippled through the audience. Jake Chen, now coordinating data streams from sites worldwide, brought up the next set of readings. This time, the hologram showed what appeared to be living equations, mathematical forms that twisted and evolved in real time. "The second species," Vex explained, "we've named the pattern weavers. They exist in the mathematical framework of reality itself. Their presence explains why humans have such a unique ability to recognize and manipulate mathematical patterns. They've been teaching humanity the language of the universe since the first human looked up at the stars and tried to count them." The evidence was overwhelming. Ancient cave paintings, when viewed through quantum filters, revealed complex mathematical formulas hidden in seemingly primitive artwork. The golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, prime numbers, all were signatures of the pattern weaver's guidance. "The third species," Sophia continued, "are the resonance keepers." The hologram shifted to show vibrating energy fields that permeated Earth's atmosphere. "They exist in the harmonics of your world. Music, language, the very rhythms of human society, they've been orchestrating a planetary symphony that has shaped human cultural development." Vex watched as understanding dawned on the faces before her. It explained so much: why music was universal across human cultures, why certain sounds could heal while others could harm, why harmonies could move people to tears or inspire them to greatness. "The fourth species," she pressed on, bringing up new data, "we call the memory guardians. They exist in the electromagnetic fields that surround your planet, preserving the collective memories of humanity. Every story ever told, every tradition passed down, every shared human experience, they've been carefully preserved and subtly reinforced across generations." The implications were staggering. Human culture wasn't just a product of social evolution, it was a carefully curated symphony of influences, guided by beings who had chosen Earth as their home long before humans walked upright. "And finally," Vex said, her voice softening with wonder, "we have the quantum shepherds." The final hologram showed impossibly complex patterns of quantum entanglement spanning the globe. They exist in the quantum realm, shepherding the very possibilities of human potential. Every choice, every branching path of human development, they've been there, subtly guiding humanity toward greater complexity and understanding. Jake stepped forward, adding his own research to the presentation. We've discovered that human DNA itself shows signs of quantum entanglement that shouldn't be possible. The quantum shepherds haven't just been observing human evolution, they've been nurturing it, preparing humanity for something we're only now beginning to understand. The chamber erupted in discussion, but Vex wasn't finished. These beings didn't choose Earth by accident, she announced, silencing the room. They chose this planet because they recognized something unique in the primitive life forms that would become human beings, a potential for something extraordinary. Humanity isn't just hosting these beings, you're in a symbiotic relationship with them. They've been preparing humanity for a role in the cosmos that we're only now beginning to glimpse. As if in response to her words, the artifacts at sites around the world pulsed with new energy. On screens throughout the chamber, readings showed unprecedented levels of activity. The dance was accelerating, and humanity was about to learn some new steps. We're entering a new phase, Sophia announced, her eyes fixed on the incoming data. The symbiosis is strengthening. These beings are no longer content to remain hidden, they're ready to actively participate in human development. The question is, are we ready for what comes next? The answer to that question would soon reshape the very foundation of human civilization, as the ancient dance between humanity and their hidden partners entered its next movement. The first signs of the Great Awakening began with dreams. All across Earth, humans reported experiencing vivid, shared visions that left them with inexplicable knowledge and abilities. Dr. Vex Marin watched from her makeshift command center in Geneva as reports flooded in from every corner of the globe. Another cluster of incidents in Seoul, Jake Chen announced, his fingers dancing across multiple holographic displays. 300 people woke up simultaneously speaking an unknown language. Linguistic analysis suggests it's mathematically perfect, no redundancies, no irregularities. It's like they're speaking pure information. Vex studied the patterns emerging on the global incident map. What had started as isolated phenomena had evolved into a planetary symphony of transformation. The 5 ancient species weren't just awakening, they were teaching. Dr. Marin. Sophia Reyes burst into the command center, her usually immaculate lab coat disheveled. You need to see this. The pattern weavers, they're not just influencing mathematics anymore. They're reshaping physical reality. The main screen switched to a live feed from Times Square in New York. The air itself seemed to ripple with geometric patterns visible to the naked eye. Street artists were creating paintings that shifted and moved, their work somehow capturing multiple dimensions on two-dimensional surfaces. Children were solving complex equations by simply looking at them, describing mathematical concepts that hadn't yet been discovered. The resonance keepers are active too, Jake added, bringing up another feed. Concert halls, stadiums, even street musicians, they're all reporting the same thing. The music isn't just being heard anymore, it's being seen, felt, experienced in ways we can't explain. People are spontaneously joining in perfect harmony, creating sounds that shouldn't be possible with human vocal cords. Vex's analytical mind raced to process the implications. The symbiotic relationship between humans and their ancient guests was evolving rapidly, far faster than anyone had anticipated. But to what end? Update from the Atacama site, Sophia said, her voice tense. The memory guardians are accessing the collective human consciousness on an unprecedented scale. People are remembering things they never experienced, historical events, ancient knowledge, forgotten technologies. It's like they're downloading humanity's entire history directly into living minds. The command center's atmosphere grew heavy with the weight of what they were witnessing. This wasn't just an awakening, it was a transformation of human consciousness itself. Dr. Marin, a voice called from the quantum communications array. The Galactic Council is demanding an emergency session. They're concerned about the pace of human development. Of course they were, Vex thought. The Council had always viewed Earth as a primitive backwater, barely worth monitoring. Now, in the span of weeks, humanity was making evolutionary leaps that should take millennia. "Tell them I'm busy," she replied, her attention fixed on a new pattern emerging in the data. "Something's happening with the quantum shepherds." The main display filled with readings from quantum sensors worldwide. The very fabric of reality around Earth was shifting, probabilities coalescing in impossible ways. Humans were beginning to manipulate quantum states instinctively, their consciousness expanding beyond the limitations of classical physics. "It's beautiful," Sophia whispered, watching as the data streams painted a picture of humanity's metamorphosis. "But it's also terrifying. We're changing so fast, are we still going to be human when this is done?" Before Vex could respond, every screen in the command center flickered simultaneously. The Dream Architects were broadcasting a shared vision to every human on Earth. In that moment, billions of minds connected, experiencing a glimpse of what humanity could become. "They're not changing what humans are," Vex realized, the truth finally dawning on her. "They're awakening what humanity has always been meant to be." These beings didn't choose Earth as a hiding place, they chose it as an incubator. Humans aren't just their protectors, they're their successors. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't evolving beyond its nature, it was fulfilling it. Every step of human development had been guided toward this moment, this awakening. "Jake," Vex called, her decision made, "send a message to the Council. Tell them Earth is now under the protection of the Centaurian Science Division. And then help me establish a direct link to every major government on the planet. They need to understand what's coming." As the command center burst into action, Vex watched the global transformation unfold. The dance between humanity and their ancient partners was reaching its crescendo, and the universe would never be the same. "The question isn't whether we're ready," she murmured, echoing Sophia's earlier concern. "The question is whether the rest of the galaxy is ready for what humanity is becoming." As Earth's transformation entered its fourth week, Dr. Vex Marin made a discovery that changed everything. Deep within the quantum patterns of the awakening species, she found something that had been hidden in plain sight, a message, encoded in the very structure of human DNA. "It's not just random evolution," she explained to the Emergency Council, now expanded to include representatives from every nation on Earth. "Your DNA contains quantum-locked memories. Humanity isn't just hosting these beings, you were engineered to be their guardians, their protectors, and ultimately, their heirs." The council chamber, housed in a repurposed CERN facility, hummed with tension as holographic displays showed the unfolding evidence. Jake Chen, who hadn't slept in days, projected a complex simulation of human evolutionary history, but this time overlaid with the subtle influences of their ancient guests. "Look at these patterns," Sophia Reyes added, highlighting specific genetic sequences. "Every major evolutionary leap in human history coincides with periods of increased activity from our 5 species. But it's more than that, humans were developing capabilities that made no evolutionary sense, until now." The evidence was irrefutable. Human consciousness, with its unique capacity for abstract thought and creative expression, had been carefully cultivated by the Dream Architects. The human brain's pattern recognition abilities had been enhanced by the pattern weavers. Human emotional and cultural resonance had been fine-tuned by the resonance keepers. The species' extraordinary capacity for memory and learning had been shepherded by the memory guardians. And humanity's potential for quantum awareness had been nurtured by the quantum shepherds. "But why?" demanded the Chinese representative. "Why choose Earth? Why humans?" Before Vex could respond, every quantum sensor on the planet spiked simultaneously. The ancient species were ready to answer that question themselves. Through their awakened connection with humanity, they shared a vision of the past that left the council chamber in stunned silence. They showed an ancient war that had raged across the galaxy, a conflict between forces of creation and destruction. The 5 species had been part of a coalition of ancient civilizations fighting to preserve the diversity and potential of life itself. But they were losing. They didn't choose Earth randomly, Vex explained, her voice thick with emotion as the vision continued. They chose it because they saw something unique in the primitive species that would become human beings, an unprecedented capacity for both destruction and creation, for both logic and imagination, for both individual identity and collective harmony. The vision shifted, showing how the 5 species had merged with Earth's biosphere, entering a state of dormancy while they guided human development. They weren't hiding, they were building. Creating guardians who could protect not just them, but all life in the galaxy. Humanity's greatest strengths, Sophia continued, what we thought were evolutionary accidents, your adaptability, your resilience, your capacity for both rational thought and irrational creativity, were carefully cultivated traits. You were designed to be the perfect synthesis of organic and quantum existence. Jake brought up new data streams showing the current state of human transformation. The awakening isn't just changing humanity, it's completing you. Every human being is becoming what they were always meant to be, living bridges between classical and quantum reality, between matter and consciousness, between the physical and the infinite. The council chamber erupted in discussion, but fell silent as another wave of quantum activity swept the planet. This time, the message was clear to everyone, the training wheels were coming off. Humanity was ready to take its place as guardians of life in the galaxy. The ancient war isn't over, Vex announced, her expression grave. The forces that our ancient friends fought against are still out there, still threatening the diversity and potential of life itself. But this time, when they return, they'll find Earth ready. They'll find humanity ready. As if in response to her words, quantum readings across the planet stabilized into new patterns. The chaotic transformation of the past weeks was settling into something sustainable, something powerful. Humanity wasn't losing itself to these changes, it was becoming its true self. We're receiving signals from deep space, Jake announced suddenly, his eyes wide. Multiple signals, from different sectors of the galaxy. Other dormant groups are awakening. Earth isn't just transforming, it's becoming a beacon, a signal to others who have been waiting. Vex looked out at the council members, seeing the weight of understanding in their eyes. The question now isn't whether humanity will accept this role, you already have, whether you knew it or not. The question is, how will you use it? The answer came not in words, but in action. Across the planet, humans began instinctively working with their ancient partners, not as separate species but as one unified force. The dream architects, pattern weavers, resonance keepers, memory guardians, and quantum shepherds weren't just allies anymore, they were part of humanity's extended family. The truth had been unveiled, and with it, humanity's destiny. They weren't just another species in the vast cosmic ocean, they were its designated protectors, the culmination of a plan set in motion before the first human ancestor walked upright. As the council session ended, Vex received a priority message from the Galactic Federation. They were demanding an explanation for the unprecedented levels of quantum activity emanating from Earth. She smiled, knowing that the galaxy was about to discover just how much humanity had changed. 6 months after the Great Awakening began, Earth had become unrecognizable, yet somehow more itself than ever before. Dr. Vex Marin stood in the newly constructed Harmony Spire in Dubai, watching as humans and their ancient partners worked together in ways that defied conventional understanding. The Galactic Federation representatives have arrived, Jake Chen announced, no longer needing traditional communications technology. Like most humans now, he could interface directly with both quantum and classical information systems. They're unsettled by what they're seeing. They should be, Sofia Reyes replied, her consciousness simultaneously present in research centers across the globe. The memory guardians had taught humanity to exist in multiple states of awareness, allowing them to be physically present in one location while maintaining quantum presence elsewhere. We've achieved in months what most civilizations take millennia to accomplish. The Federation delegation materialized in the observation chamber, their expressions ranging from awe to barely concealed fear. Vex understood their concern. Earth had transformed from a barely noticed backwater into something unprecedented, a world where classical and quantum reality merged seamlessly, where consciousness and matter danced in perfect harmony. Welcome to New Earth, Vex greeted them, using both verbal and quantum communication. Though perhaps true Earth would be more accurate. This is what this world was always meant to become. The chamber's walls shifted, becoming transparent and revealing the transformed cityscape below. Quantum architecture merged with classical engineering, creating structures that existed in multiple states simultaneously. The dream architect's influence was visible in the impossible geometries that somehow made perfect sense to the human mind. The pattern weaver's mathematics manifested in the very flow of traffic and movement of people. Impossible, the lead Federation representative muttered. Your species was primitive mere months ago. This level of advancement was always within us, Jake interrupted, his voice carrying the harmonics taught by the resonance keepers. We just needed to remember who we were meant to be. As if to demonstrate, he gestured, and the city's quantum grid became visible, a vast network of consciousness and energy that connected every living thing on the planet. The memory guardians had helped humanity recover the knowledge that had been encoded in their very cells, while the quantum shepherds had taught them to manipulate the fabric of reality itself. But this is just the beginning, Sophia added, as holographic displays showed the changes spreading across Earth. We're detecting other worlds where similar guardians have been sleeping. Earth isn't just transforming, it's becoming a beacon, a signal to others like us. The Federation representatives watched in stunned silence as humans demonstrated their new capabilities. Children played games that rewrote local physics. Artists created works that existed in multiple dimensions. Scientists developed technologies that merged biological, quantum, and cosmic principles in ways that made their previous understanding of the universe seem primitive. The ancient war that our partners fought, Vex explained, it was never truly over. The force that threatens the diversity of life in our galaxy is still out there, still growing. But this time, when it returns, it won't find isolated pockets of resistance. It will find us ready. As if on cue, deep space sensors detected a quantum surge from a distant sector of the galaxy. Another world was awakening, its guardians and chosen species beginning their own transformation. We're establishing contact now, Jake announced, his consciousness reaching across light years through the quantum networks the ancient species had left dormant throughout the galaxy. They're like us, another world where guardian species merged with the local life forms. They've been waiting for the signal, waiting for Earth to show the way. The Federation representatives huddled together, clearly struggling to process the implications. Humanity hadn't just advanced, they had become something entirely new, a bridge between the classical and quantum realms, between the physical and the infinite. Your Federation laws regarding technological advancement and species development, Vex said gently, they don't apply here. Earth isn't just another member world to be regulated. We are the guardians your ancestors spoke of in legends. We are the protectors they promised would return. Sophia brought up a galactic map showing quantum signatures lighting up across space, more worlds awakening, more guardians rising from their long sleep. Earth isn't just one world changing, she explained. We're part of a network that spans the galaxy, a system put in place eons ago to protect and nurture life itself. The question isn't whether you'll accept this change, Jake added, his voice carrying the weight of both human determination and ancient wisdom. The question is whether you'll join us in what comes next. As the Federation representatives grappled with their new reality, Vex felt a surge of pride in how far humanity had come. They hadn't just accepted their role as guardians, they had embraced it with characteristic creativity and determination. The merge between humans and their ancient partners hadn't diminished either, it had created something greater than the sum of its parts. The cosmic legacy isn't just about power or advancement, Vex concluded, watching as another quantum signature lit up in distant space. It's about protection, about nurturing the infinite possibilities of life. That's what humanity was chosen for, what you were bred for. And now, at last, you're ready to take your place among the stars not just as explorers or scholars, but as guardians of life itself. The transformation was complete, but the story was just beginning. As Earth reached out to other awakening worlds, as humanity stepped into its role as universal protectors, the galaxy held its breath. The age of separation was ending. The age of unity, of quantum harmony, of true guardianship, had begun. And somewhere in the vast darkness between the stars, ancient forces stirred, sensing the change. But this time, when they came, they would find not sleeping guardians, but a galaxy awakened, united, and ready.